Time for our Tri-State Office Furniture tweet of the day. Comes from the Steelers Twitter account saying TJ Watt and Cam Hayward have been selected to the 2022 Pro Bowl. By the way, that's the fourth straight year that both men will represent the Steelers in the Pro Bowl. That's the fourth nomination overall for TJ Watt. It's the fifth in a career for Cam Hayward. But once again, both men very deserving. 412-575-2600. Josh Taylor, Chris Mueller here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook on both Pittsburgh CW and 93.7 The Fan. We have Lane in Allegheny on the line. Lane, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
What do you think the chances of the Steelers winning against Kansas City? Because nobody thought that the Steelers could beat the Ravens.
Lane, I appreciate the call. And you know what? We're going to go right now and call this our go one better, number one Cochran call of the night. Lane, thanks for the call. Appreciate the bravery there. Lane brings up a good point because
Lane sounded ticked off, I got to be honest. It doesn't sound like Lane required much bravery there. Lane sounded pretty ticked at the Steelers, or actually not at the Steelers, but at the Steeler doubters. Here's what I'll tell Lane. No less than Ryan Clark on the PM team today, okay? I said to Ryan, obviously we know that quarterbacks move the needle the most, gambling, spreads, everything else. But how vulnerable, I asked him, are the Chiefs if Tyreek Hill and if Travis Kelce don't play? He straight up said, if they don't play, the Steelers will win. That is from Ryan Clark, a man whose opinions I respect immensely about everything, but especially the game of football. So if he's saying that, then I think that's what you pray for if you're the Steelers. And obviously, Josh, I'll say what goes without saying. We don't want anybody to be actually sick on their roster anywhere with this. But fact of the matter is, they might both miss the game. I don't think you've seen from Patrick Mahomes this year necessarily the tendency to bail himself out, right, with Mecole Hardman or somebody else. They are dramatically reduced if those guys don't play. And Lane, if they don't, the Steelers have a real honest-to-God chance, especially if their offense actually does something.
Chris, to your point, if there's no Tyreek Hill and no Travis Kelce, we might see a healthy amount of snaps from, of all people, name blast from the past, wait for this one, Josh Gordon, if you're ready to hear that one. If you're ready to hear that name and that guy getting snaps for Kansas City, that is the situation that they are in. As the kids will say, they're down bad pretty much that much. Let's go to Brad in Punxsutawney. Brad, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, we got into a discussion tonight on the college players that are opting out for the bowl games with the draft and everything. And a subject was brought up, and I'm kind of hoping you guys could maybe answer this for me because I didn't have a clue. One of the guys said, do the universities have the potential to maybe throw out an insurance policy on a player as far as, like, what they would guess what his value would be in the draft, take out an insurance policy where if he was injured, and when that came up, I said I didn't know, but I thought I'd give you guys a call tonight and see if you guys could answer that for me.
Yeah, it's been discussed before, Brett. Thanks for the call. We've heard individual players do that as well. Chris, I don't know if you remember this. Willis McGahee comes to mind with Miami. Was going into the draft. Everybody knew was going in the draft. He went to that national championship game against Ohio State, had that really ugly knee injury, but had that insurance policy, ends up getting drafted by the Bills and had a pretty decent career in the NFL. I think he sat out a year after Tom Donahoe drafted him in Buffalo, but yeah, it happens.
That was a national championship game, so you understand why he played probably, because it can boost your stock. Jake Butt, the Michigan tight end, is another guy I think of. He actually, I think, was quoted in The Athletic today, Josh, in a piece about this. He had an insurance policy. I mean, most of these guys, to answer Brad's question here, most of these top-end guys do. I would bet a lot of money, let's just go with that, that Kenny Pickett has one. But, and this would be my point to people who are saying, hey, come on, take out the insurance policy and then you're good to go. Like, you might have, car insurance or life insurance or medical insurance, right? Really good ones, too, like good policies for the medical insurance. You still don't want to go to the hospital, right?
Right.
Like, you don't want to get hurt. And in the case of these guys, like, I'll be honest here, I don't know the details of most of these policies, but I think they still, while they make them sort of set for life in a lot of ways, I think they still pale in comparison to the money that you make as a first-round pick guaranteed. I don't have the figures in front of me, Josh, but I want to say this year's number one overall pick is going to make something like near $30 million guaranteed, if not more than that, on their first deal. Like, it's it's a different level of money. So I would say if you're looking at the insurance policy as the magic bullet to keep these guys playing in the bowl games, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be that.
And for one thing, another thing I like to point out as far as injuries and these guys being healthy, there's the ability to make the guaranteed money. Then there's another thing that sticks out if you're a first-round pick in a lot of these contracts, that opportunity for that fifth-year option going into your fifth season. That's another payday that you don't have to worry about playing for to get that extra year. If you have a good third year, your team will pick up that fifth-year option before your fourth season. So now you got 2 seasons with money coming in the bank. All that matters when you are a first-round pick. We have Robert in Periopolis. Robert, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
My question is about Adrian Clem. I think Mueller already talked about it, but do you think he left? Do you think he is leaving it for Oregon because of money, or do you think he's actually going to get fired at the end of the season?
Why can't it be both?
I don't think they're going to fire him. I don't think. Josh, do you think they're going to fire him? I mean, when was the last time you actually? Well, when was the last time? Just to answer what the caller's bringing up here, when was the last time anybody here remembers a coach getting fired? Like not, and I'm saying fired very specifically here because fired and let go when their contract expires, 2 very different things. Art Rooney doesn't seem to be habitual when it comes to paying people not to work for him anymore. So I would strongly doubt that Adrian Clem would have been fired. The only way he would have been gone of the Steelers' hand is if he had been signed on a 1-year deal, which to my knowledge he wasn't. So I think if he's leaving for Oregon, he's leaving maybe for greener pastures financially, uniform-wise, and maybe not having to coach in the pressure cooker of the pros.
I'll piggyback it with this. We've seen that history with this organization over the years. We saw that with the previous offensive coordinator, Randy Fichtner. His contract expired. They sent him on his way. Todd Haley before him, his contract expired. They sent him on his way. I would not be surprised at the end of this season when another coordinator's contract comes to an end on the other side of the ball if he is sent on his way, because that is the pattern that they tend to follow. And I think there are changes coming on this coaching staff when this season comes to an end. We got to take another break. We got some more to talk about when we come back. Stick around.